passionately I was driven even before I knew what architecture is. I'm not so confident that I can get a nice result. I still sit with my sketch butter sheets and my sketch pencils and all of that for the project. I mean that, and then you should just focus on what should be the concept based on the program, what are the buildings. So only focus on that rather than thinking the reality or the end result.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the second episode of Sketchbook Sound, an architectural podcast hosted by the Legion Council of SOA DSATM. So here we are conducting a new episode with architect Suchith, who is a principal architect and a co-founder of Tattva Architects, and most interestingly he is our alumni of 2020 batch. And so he is skilled in residential, commercial and hospitality projects. Now we'll start with the questionnaires. So first question is, how and why did you choose architecture?
So yeah, that's most interesting because I did not know that architecture as a profession exists until and unless a friend introduced me to that. But passionately I was driven even before I knew what architecture is. So probably from my childhood I was keen on looking at buildings and all of that. So somehow it got into my life, I feel. Luckily, yes.
Yeah. So it's because of the passion.
Yeah, it is a hidden passion, probably you can say, which I did not know about. Luckily it came into the limelight at the right time. Yeah.
So the second question is, how do you define architecture design in academics and practical life?
Yeah, so both are important. Probably you can say it like a movie, part 1 and part 2, where academics is something that you need to know the basics and how to start off with, but whereas part 2 is the whole reality and the climax. So you should be knowing of that's the reality. Probably you're preparing in the part 1 for the part 2. The practical world is completely different than academics, but without academics you cannot live in the practical world.
And another question is like, you told no sir, like both are different. When you're planning something in academics, when you're designing something of your own interest, you do something beyond reality and you go into the imagination. So was it difficult when you're studying, when you went into the practical world and you were like forcing yourself not to go out of reality?
No, yeah, see, that's what. So what happens when it comes to academics, you don't have any limitations, you don't have any restrictions because you have given a site and you can do what you want. So, but it's not the same when it comes to practical. When you come out, there are a lot of things that are bound to this, say from a client to a budget to the restriction of laws and the area. All of that comes into the matter, and practically what works and what doesn't work for a longer run has to be thought. But whereas when you are, that is what I say to most of the young students, I would say do what not to do. Like there's nothing like you cannot do when you are studying. So explore everything, do whatever you want, how much ever you want, go beyond the lines to go beyond your limitations to do something very exciting and nice, because that is where you trial, you do everything when you're studying architecture. But you can't do that when you come out of directly in the practice. Probably you can think of doing all of that later stage when you land bigger projects, or when you're working on bigger projects. Yes, you might have some liberty to do, but completely like what you guys are doing in academics, I don't think you can do the same thing outside, and I think most of them, even you guys, will know about it. Yeah.
So the next question is, as student, most of us get stuck in the concept evolution and transformation. So do you have any suggestions to crack those kind of problems? And
yeah, this I think every student comes across. This is like a major problem even when we were studying. But eventually I cracked out something that if you're doing some project, if you have an AD or a thesis project that you're working on, I used to tell my batchmates or even my friends and all of those things. We used to discuss in class, saying that if you have a very strong concept, if you take some time to think of the concept can come from anywhere. You should not say that I crush a paper and then that's my concept. No, that is not strong concept. That concept should have a reason why it is a concept. So there are so many theories on that. So some people might have the topography as their concept, or some levels, layers, or Lee Corbusier, his buildings concepts, or some 5 principles of the buildings and all of those things, or it can be of a lot of combinations of different concepts can come together. If you have a very strong concept, I believe that the entire design will go very seamlessly, and every line you draw will have a reason why you are drawing it. Only if you have a very good concept, and a strong concept is what I believe. It's the start, like a keystone to your project or a building.
Like sometimes what happens is when teachers ask us to generate a concept, we just go blank, and we take some random shapes, get it together, and we make it a concept. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen. So that happens usually when you deep dive into the end result in the first day itself. So if you are starting to put off the blocks, put the program, everything fit in the program, all of those things, then your mind is restricted to that. So probably initially you should just keep the site plan, the land use and the vegetation and all of that into picture, and then you should just focus on what should be the concept based on the program, what are the buildings. So only focus on that rather than thinking the reality or the end result. When you're doing the concept, don't think of the end result. So if you're saying that I'll have a glass facade, you don't think of your entire building as glass facade. You just think of glass facade. That can go vertically, horizontally. That is later on. So don't focus on just the concept, not the end result. I mean, that is what by the end of my architecture, I figured out during my thesis, that strong concept, when you're doing concept, only concept. That probably worked for me, but I might be wrong for others. Yeah.
So next is like, how does architecture in earlier semester help in choosing and shaping architecture thesis topic?
Oh, architecture thesis topic, I don't know how it will evolve during the whole journey. I feel probably some people might have some thoughts on based on their other passions. Say like some people might, I'm a football player, so I want to do a football stadium or academy of a football. So that is a different way, but I had nothing like a personal interest sort of a thing. So mine eventually, after going through the whole phase of becoming a social head and all of those things, probably it drove me through the whole process. And during the time of thesis, I chose Indian flag manufacturing unit that happens only in Hubli. So I came across all of this. It was throughout the whole process research, and it came into my plate, I feel. It never thought during the early stages, but of course I had a dream to have a very nice thesis by end of my academics. That was there in my mind, but I did not know on what. So that came through the journey, I feel.
But did certain things help you in researching or getting into or designing?
Yes, what I told you, like I was a social head in this college. So when I was doing that, I used to think of all the social things that are going on, what we can do. Not much we contributed to that sector, but then it came across when I was doing my research and stuff. So that's how I got the interest on that. I did have other topics, but internally all the jury and everyone selected this because it had more potential. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is like, how did your college prepare you for the real world?
For the real world, yes. Again, I would say all these extracurricular activities like the union and then the virtue show, the exhibition, and when we are put out in the outside world, even when we were in academics and going to site workshops and all of those things, we knew the reality of how it will be outside, probably at least a little bit, if not the whole thing. And right after that, when our faculties and all of them helped us on what type of firm to go to during internships might be helpful for us because I chose some firm which taught me the most of the practical world. So that is how I started off immediately after my internship and my thesis. We started off immediately practicing all by ourselves. So that is my biggest foundation, I would say, and I'm very thankful for that.
When did you get into internship and what is the ideal sem or?
So it was in our academics. So that my ninth semester was internship. Right after that was our thesis in the 10th semester. So while doing our internship, we were already thinking and planning along with my partner Charan. So he was also my classmate. He is also an alumni from the same college. So we both were discussing on to start off and how to start off and all of that. During the thesis, we were all planning that, and right after that, we had we had started off.
Like if people are starting from their third year, is it good to get into the real world?
It is good, I would say, but I don't know if it is allowed. But yeah, it is good, or I would suggest from my perspective. I'm not sure. Others might think that I'm wrong. If you are confident enough, and if you think that you can deal with the practical situations of how whatever comes up to your door front on a day-to-day basis, if you think that I can deal with those things, yes, you can start off, is what I feel. But at the same time, you need to be a little technically strong. You need to be ready and prepared for that. Luckily, my internship firm, we were space architects, so there they like even the interns were allowed, or they were given the chance to go talk to the clients and sit for the client meetings, go to the site visits, instruct the workers what to do and how to do, and we were allowed to explain the contractors on how to work on. So probably that gave me the confidence that I can do this. This is something that I like, and this is something that I can deal with. So probably that is how we started off. We did face a lot of challenges because right after we came out, it was COVID. Yeah. And where other firms were trying hard to survive, we started off. So it was difficult for us, but thank God, touch wood, but we got very decent and nice clients to us in the initial stages, and then from there is no looking back because it's all driven through reference.
So we have these rapid fire questions for you. Okay. So studio or theory, which one did you enjoy more?
Studio. Okay. Any day.
What's harder, deadlines or in college or deadlines in practice?
Deadlines in college, I guess, because I was alone. Now deadlines in practice is much easier because I have a very strong team.
Then which software saved your life in college?
I was always preferred hand drafting and physical models in our times. I can proudly say in our times now because now with the softwares are too advanced for us. It was more like a Revit and CAD was our initial things, but we were all, including a lot of my batchmates, we were all more interested in doing physical models, life scale models, 1:5 models. So we have got models in trucks to college, and we have done juries. So those were the days where we did all of that. I would say that, but as of now, we are more flexible on CAD and basics of it. I still believe that if you directly jump into holding a mouse to start off a project, I don't know. I'm not so confident that I can get a nice result. I still sit with my sketch butter sheets and my sketch pencils and all of that to start off a project. I mean, that's how I get very good output, is what I feel.
Which softwares do you suggest the students to learn now?
As of now, the BIM and the Rhino, Grasshopper, all of these things are currently in trend. I know that, and will come into trend probably once everyone starts adopting it. And also AI is something that probably the future will be driven. I am not sure about it, but that's a whole new topic to discuss on some other day.
It's very debatable.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. What's the most useful thing you learned outside the syllabus?
In college?
Yeah.
So I would say negotiations, how to deal with social and all demography of people, say from labor to I still greet the watchman, I still talk to my the bus drivers, so I still talk to the principal in this college. The similarly, you still have to deal with the working labor, contractors, clients, and also the all type of category of demography of people will be there. So you should know how to talk and deal with all of them. So probably that is one thing, and also negotiations and how to get work done. So basically, that's end of the day you should know that.
Then freelance or firm, what do you prefer?
No, you start with freelance and then become a firm. We started as freelance and we are a firm now. So
Would
yeah.
you like to stay as a employee or handling a company?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I would always want to grow my company definitely, and rather than playing it alone. I believe that with the bigger teams and greater teams will come bigger picture and faster outputs. Yeah. So
Then one myth about the profession.
that people think that it's very easy to give the deliverables. They think that it is just drawing and sketching, that's all, but it's definitely not. There's a lot of hard work and creative and the thought work that goes behind it. Yeah, this is the general public that I'm talking about.
Then what's cooler, concept or execution?
I mean, concepts looks cooler, but execution is the fun, real fun, I feel. Yeah.
Any advice to architecture students?
Architecture students, yes, lot of, I mean, this can be another episode, but work hard and don't give up. Be passionate about it, dream big, and it's a long journey. Don't expect some faster results. It's a long, lengthy journey. Be ready for it. That's all. Yeah, I would say.
So we'll wrap this session with this.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you, sir,
Thank you.
for giving your time.
Thank you.